Welcome to another TPO Fly of the Month. This month, we're going to outdo ourselves. It's going to be a good one. We're going to make a CDC parachute dry fly using the Marc Petitjean magic tool. And you're going to see why they call it magic tool in about 6 minutes here. So here we go. So first we're going to start off. The hook is a Tiemco 103 barbless hook. This is a size 11, so it'll be comparable to a 12 or a 10 in that size range. For the thread, we're going to use UTC 140 in yellow, so we can split the thread, and you're going to see how that plays out in a little bit here. So first I'm going to tie the thread in. Now, next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a post out of yellow CDC. Alright, it's pretty high visibility. You'll be able to see it from far away, so you could fish this fly even as the light's fading. So I lined up all the tips, so I'm going to tie in the post, pull down. Alright, now I'm going to trim it. Now I'm going to trim with my scissors going up toward the wing there, and if you look, I'm going to be able to taper this really nicely here. It's going to go down over the end of the CDC feather, and if you look, there's very little feather barbules peeking out there, so it's really clean so far. Now for the tails, I'm going to use light done hackle fibers for the tails. I'm going to tie the tails in. Now for this fly, I really want to make a slim body. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tie the tails in like that. Now for the abdomen of this fly, I'm just going to use a quill. So I'm going to tie the quill in. This is sulphur orange. I'm going to tie that in. Now I'm going to trim this so everything's nice and tight. I want as little bulk as possible. So now I'm going to wind the thread to the rear of the hook just to secure everything down. There. Now I'm going to come all the way back up to the front, well, near the front. Now, so that the quill doesn't come off when the fish chews the fly, I'm going to take a little instant crazy glue. Just dab a little bit onto the thread just to secure the quill. As we know, they're pretty delicate, you know, and we want this fly to catch more than 1 or 2 fish before it's destroyed. So now I'm just going to take the quill and I'm going to wrap it up the fly. It's going to make nice segmentation. It's a really nice looking fly. It's very artistic. So I'm coming up to the end. A couple more wraps. Alright, now I'm going to take my thread. I'm going to tie this off. So if you look, I'm constructing a fly here with very minimal bulk. So now here, I'm going to pull back the CDC, trim this little bit here. Just want everything really clean. This is one where you don't want it messy. When I tie a lot of the nymphs, it's alright if it's a mess. But with this one, it's to be very organized. Like I tell my kids with math, you gotta make the math problems really organized. Do it organized, or you're gonna have a lot of problems. So here, I'm not gonna stand the parachute up yet, but I'm gonna get it to start standing up. So there. Now I'm gonna take sulphur orange superfine dubbing, and I'm gonna dub the thorax. So there. Now, I'm going to wind my bobbin up, and I'm going to start dubbing. And also, too, like, I'll take a look, and I'll turn the fly, and I'll look to make sure that I'm getting the taper right. Because it's very important, like I always say, you know, not only with the nymphs, but with the dries as well, that you have that very nice carrot-shaped taper in the thorax and the abdomen. So here, one little trick so you don't get any separation in the thorax of your fly is to take a little bit of dubbing and wrap it on the thread. Alright, and you're going to pull it up to the top here, right there, and you're going to leave it. Now, here comes the fun part. We're going to take the thread, and I don't have a pin or a needle or anything fancy, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the hook, and I'm going to try to catch the thread right in the middle to pull it apart. So here, I'm still searching. This is the biggest pain to making this fly, is to separate the thread. Now, I know that they sell thread for this purpose, but I'm sure that there's some heavy duty fly fishing tacks on that. So here, if you look, I just separated the thread. Now, we're going to take the clip with the CDC in it, and we're also going to do a little demonstration so that people know how to use this. But as you see, it's ready. So I'm going to insert this into the thread loop. Alright, I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to apply a lot of pressure on my bobbin so that I can keep the thread tight. If you look here, alright, I have the dubbing loop on the thread. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bobbin and I'm going to twist it, and here's where the magic happens. If you look, this is spinning around, alright, and it's going to make a hackle, a CDC hackle. And if you look, there's a lot of spacing between all those barbules and the feathers, and what that does is it traps air, and that's why this fly floats so well. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to move the camera back up here. Alright, going to bring this up. Now I'm going to wrap the hackle around the parachute post. Now, one major benefit to this fly is that when it lands on the water, it makes almost no commotion on the surface due to the materials being very, very light in nature. So if you look here, I pulled the CDC back, and for this fly, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to make one half hitch. Alright, now, due to the fact that I spun the thread with the bobbin, it's has a tendency, the thread is very, very taut. There's a lot of tension. So if I were to whip finish this fly, the thread would come undone, and it wouldn't make for a nice head of the fly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my super glue, I'm going to take a needle, I'm going to put the super glue in the needle, and I'm just going to dab a tiny bit of glue right there where the thread is, where it finishes. Right? Now I'm going to rotate the vise back into place, and I'm going to trim the thread. Boom. And that's done. Now at the end here, what I can do is I could just take this and I can trim these to size. I could trim the ones on the bottom so that the fly rides more flesh on the surface. Very, flat appearance. If you look at the underbody, that is exactly what a fish is going to see. The CDC creates some lifelike appearance, alright, like legs of the flies or the wing moving without anything moving. So there is a sulfur parachute tied with the Marc Petitjean magic tool. And as you can see, it is magical. Fly is beautiful. Have at it, guys.